Okay. Nicole, are we ready to start? Okay. Do we have anyone on Zoom or whatever it is you use?
Everyone's present.
Okay. Miss Nicole, would you like to do the roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Can you call the time for order, just for the record, please?
It's 4 o'clock,
Thank you, ma'am.
well, 4:02.
Councilmember Martinez stated he would be absent this evening. Councilmember Voigt stated she'd be absent this evening as well. City Manager Gibbs.
Here.
Economic Development Director Kirk Pelser,
Present.
Chair Betty Rader.
Present.
Vice Chair Richard Beneke.
Here.
And in the place of Education Member Evan Brown, we have Miss Susan Aguilar Martinez.
Here.
County Economic Development Member Joseph Matthews.
Here.
And Post-Secondary Education Member Lysandra Payton.
Here.
Am I saying that right? Is it Payton?
Patine.
Patine. Okay, thank you.
It's okay.
Community Member Jason Doyle.
Present.
Community/Business Member Dejanay Taylor. Community Business Member Ron Rader.
Here.
Community Member Susan Marufo. Industry Expert Member Vicky Brannick. Oh, she stated she would be absent this evening. And our Youth Council is out of session right now. Then we have alternate member Kathleen Billinger.
Here.
And alternate member Edward Gallardo.
Here.
Thank you, Nicole. If you would like to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, are there any adjustments to the agenda? Are there any conflicts of interest that need to be disclosed? Thank you. This is the public comment period. Are there any items that need to be discussed that are not on the agenda? Is there anyone on the phones?
I have no written requests. Benny, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Thank you. We will move on to action items and the public hearings and requests. The approval of our previous meetings from our previous meeting last month.
Madam Chair, move to approve.
I second.
All those in favor, are there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Economic Development Proposal Review Subcommittee. Formation of a subcommittee to review proposals for economic development strategic plan. Staff report?
Yes, Madam Chair, I've asked Laura James, Economic Development Manager, to make this presentation for you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members. This item is a follow-up from last month when we reviewed the Economic Development Strategic Plan RFP update. That's a mouthful. And it was suggested by this committee that we put together a small subcommittee to help us whittle down the application or the proposals that we get. So that doesn't all be determined by staff members. So what we have here for you tonight is a request to have the committee members nominate a couple of folks who would like to be a part of that subcommittee. I would expect that they would only need to meet one time and that it wouldn't take very long, but we do have several parties who have expressed interest in submitting proposals. The due date is not quite here yet, but we do expect to have multiple proposals to review, so there will be something for this subcommittee to do.
Okay. There are some people in the room that were on the original strategic plan. Would those people be advantageous to be on this subcommittee, you think? Or not?
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, that would be fine. Either way would be fine. We just need ideally two of you
Two?
to
Okay.
review. And let me just add that the meeting, whether it's one or two meetings, we can probably achieve it via Zoom or something like that. So wouldn't necessarily take a lot of time and travel time. So it's really just to help us review them and rank them.
Okay.
We'll provide ranking sheets and scoring sheets and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anyone on the committee that would like to?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I see they say either two or three. I would really like to see three people on that committee. The more eyes on the subject, the better.
So then you would like to be one of those two?
Yeah, I'd like to be one of the three. I don't want to be one of the two, but I'll be one of the three. too much pressure if there's just two of us.
Okay.
I'll volunteer.
Same as well with me, Madam Chair.
Okay. Joe and Lysandra? Yes. Okay. Okay, you got your committee.
Thank you very much.
3. Do we have updates? Are there any more discussion on the strategic plan update? Thank you. So we can go to update from the city staff on projects.
Yes, Madam Chair, the major update we have for you today is to talk about sort of a report out of our attendance at the ICSC conference convention at the end of May last month in Las Vegas. The ICSC.
Sorry, let me interrupt. Before we get there, we're on item D, the update of projects
Oh,
from
I'm
city
sorry.
staff. That's
Sorry,
okay.
Sorry,
That is an update, but it's also
yeah,
agendized.
sorry.
All right, I have an update for you guys. So good afternoon, committee members. I'd like to provide a quick update on the city's billboard advertising efforts for the business incentive programs. To help increase visibility and promote Beaumont as a business-friendly destination, we launched a digital billboard ad along the I-10 freeway in Yucaipa. The sign is located just west of Yucaipa Boulevard, giving us strong exposure to regional commuters. This high-traffic corridor, with approximately 72,220 vehicles passing by the billboard each day, according to Geopath, the advertisement is generating about 240,185 weekly impressions among adults aged 18 or older. The primary objective is to raise awareness of our business incentive program and attract interest from companies looking to expand or relocate. While we don't yet have additional engagement data, we'll continue monitoring the campaign and consider expanding similar outreach efforts in the future based on performance. That concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
You haven't received any responses? No one's called or anything like that?
Yeah, I've received a number of calls.
Okay.
I just can't provide that exact number
Okay, so
today.
but we have gotten a response from it? 'Cause-
Yeah, I've received personally many calls asking about our
Great,
billboards.
because I did see it, and I don't go that way very often, but I did see it, so it's visible. And
Yeah, Madam Chair, I know we do surveys from time to time. I think I've talked to you about this, Joe, doing a survey that get these people who even come to Thursday night or whatever, find out if they got their information from those billboards, to see if that and get that kind of feedback, to see if that's how well that's working. It sounds like it's working well by looking at certain activities we have. So, yeah, looking forward and maybe even expanding might be the answer. So thank you for bringing those numbers to us, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, my pleasure.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
We had a very delightful, excuse me, presentation last month with the high school artists developing concept for these signs, and I'm just wondering where we're at in selecting those signs, and will we be able to see the winners, or is there anything we can do for the winners? You know, I just think this is a fantastic program. It gets a lot of involvement with the community and with the high school kids, so. Has a selection been made?
Yeah, so everybody that, all of the billboards you saw at our last meeting and all the children you met at our last meeting, all their billboards have been put on a rotating schedule, and they're currently going through that. I've seen multiple of them already.
So basically all of them were accepted
Yes, all of the ones that you saw.
that we saw, and they're gonna be on a kind of like a rotating,
Yeah, exactly. I believe
Perfect.
it's a monthly. Yeah, monthly rotating.
Every seven is a billboard.
Every seven. Okay.
That's a great idea and fantastic talent we have down there.
Yeah.
At the high school. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
thank you.
A couple more updates. They're not necessarily projects, but I do want to take the opportunity to introduce our new Community Development Director, Stephen Jones. Stephen's been with us a couple weeks now, and I think he thinks that all we do is eat, because his first meeting was with the mayor at breakfast, and then there was lunch, several lunches. But he's diving right in, and getting his feet wet on a lot of projects that are coming to Beaumont. And he and Gus and Kirk and Robert Vestal, our city engineer, they're the development team. And I can tell you that there's a lot of exciting things coming. So I don't know if you want to say a few words or.
Welcome, Steve.
That you guys are doing this. I enjoyed your meeting so far, and I'm happy to be a part of the Beaumont team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve,
Thank you for being here.
Welcome. Stephen, your last name again is?
Jones, Jones, Jones.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then one other announcement, this body is actually the first outside of city council to hear this news. We are extremely excited. The California Transportation Commission staff has recommended or is recommending to the California Transportation Commission a grant of $50 million towards the Pennsylvania Grade Separation Project. And it will go before the commission June 26th and June 27th. And if it's blessed, we will aggressively work to finish design on the Pennsylvania Grade SEP, which, as you know, is the design portion is completely funded. However, we lack the funding to actually do the construction. This is going to get us within $10 million of full funding, which is a huge accomplishment. It is a TSEP grant. It is part federal, part state. This is the second TSEP grant that Beaumont has received in the last 2 years, for a total of the two awards of roughly about $85 million. The first award was 33 for Potrero grade separation, or Potrero grade interchange phase 2. And that is also going to the CTC Commission in June at the same meeting for final blessing, and then RCTC will take that project. So this is the second TSEP grant, and to get almost $100 million of funding from the state and the feds for two different projects, we are all very extremely proud. So congratulations.
You say that goes before the commission in June?
June 26th and June
26th.
27th. And myself and the mayor and a few other staff members will be present in Sacramento to accept the money award and also thank them for Potrero.
Congratulations, congratulations. I always thought I wouldn't be alive to see that, but maybe I will. You know, it's kind of exciting. Thank you, that's wonderful news. Anything else? I've had several people ask me about the pipes that are along Palm Avenue. What's happening with that?
That is a Beaumont Cherry Valley Water District project. They are redoing the wells that are at 12th and Palm, and they need to flush them periodically. And so prior to the Stewart Park improvement project, they would normally flush their wells into the 11th Street part of the park. However, because that's under construction, we worked with them on a different plan to flush them down into a storm drain.
Okay.
So the project is slated to be completed sometime around August or September.
Okay. Just one moment, yes.
Yeah, I got a question for our city manager. The Second Street expansion, it looks like they're working on that. How are we doing on that? What's the completion time on that? Do we have a date at all? Or?
We do. It is moving right along. They are working on some drainage under the future road, and so that's going to come before you'll actually see the road going
Yeah, that's why we see
in.
the tile over there, yeah.
Right. It's slated to be done by the end of the calendar year.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
The alley behind, not behind the chamber offices, but the other alley, is that the water district also?
No. That is one of our projects. It's been in the works for probably 18 months. It's part of our pavement management program. It is the last round of pavement management. What has happened is we discovered that there was a gas line relatively close to the surface, and so we had to put a pause on that and have the gas company come in and lower their gas line in the alleyway. The Mattich is the contractor, and they started work and discovered some water lines. And so they've been working with the water district on those lines and how to, not break them and all the things that come along with pavement management. There's been some hurdles, and our city engineer is working with Mattich and the Water District to try to resolve some of the issues that we have occurred. And it may end up that we can't resolve them, and it may end up going back the way it was, but we're going to figure it out.
Okay, well, it just.
We're hoping for a brand-new alley so that people can walk through there.
Yeah, well.
That was the intention.
I saw a couple people, we've had a couple inquiries about it because it's been like,
The Water District was out there because the water line was broken.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
City Manager, do we have any timeline or, let's say, well, I'm referring to Potrero in terms of marketing. Potrero is going to be a major intersection down the road, hopefully in shorter span of time than longer. Is there any effort to develop some kind of marketing around that so that we're ready to really go and this thing gets put into place? Or is that too premature at this point in time?
No, that's a good question. It's not premature, and we have been in constant conversations with a lot of the property owners in that area. They are eagerly anticipating the completion of that interchange. It'll take about 3 years. You'll see likely a bid going out in the fall of '25 at the end of this year, with construction starting roughly around early '26, and then 3 years, 2 to 3 years after that. But all of the property owners in that area are well aware of this project. They've been consistently updated from city staff prior to the award of the TSEP grant. And then, once we were awarded and we realized we were fully funded, and we went to council with that information, and then we started really heavy conversations with them. So all of those property owners and potential projects in that area are eagerly awaiting the completion of it. I do think that and Kirk will talk about this in the ICSC update, I do think it has put Beaumont on the map. And I don't want to steal his thunder, but he's got some good news about the ICSC conference.
Okay, thank you.
okay, anything else? Okay, well then we'll move on to the ICSC Fun event.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry for jumping the gun earlier. So,
Okay.
as City Manager Gibbs shared with you, we had, and it's outlined in the report, we had an especially, I think, effective visit to the ICSC convention this year. I've been going to this event off and on for nearly 30 years, and I've never had as many meetings, impactful meetings with developers, users, retailers as we had on this trip. In a day and a half, we had 11 scheduled meetings. We had over 400 people come to our booth, engage with the staff that was working the booth. We sort of took turns working the booth and then going to meetings, and a little bit of walking the floor and exploring and trying to meet other business and so forth. But it was, as I said, just amazingly impactful this time. The fact that Beaumont is where it is in terms of its ascent, these kinds of projects like Potrero and what we just shared with you on Pennsylvania, those are the kinds of things that are allowing us to generate that kind of interest. And the momentum, I think, is real. You all know that the Planning Commission I think you would know, the Planning Commission approved a development agreement a couple of weeks ago with Regency Centers, and that will go to council next week. And so that word is out. We met with Regency, we met with some of their tenants, other prospective tenants. So there's a lot of momentum, a lot of coalescing of demographics and timing and the economic factors that are playing to our benefit. So again, it was amazingly busy and I think very fruitful attendance this year. We had a large group. The mayor was with us, Council Member Martinez, City Manager Gibbs, Gus, the Deputy City Manager, Laura, myself, and Joseph, and then also Shannon and Julie, our Public Information Officer, was there. And we were busy the whole time.
Wonderful, that's wonderful.
Very, very busy. I want to really thank Joseph and Shannon and Julie for going up early and setting up the booth That's the hard part of the effort, and staying and breaking it down and driving home. So.
Those type of events are very fun, but very tiring, I
It,
know.
it's an intense day
Yes.
and a half,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we had Michael Bush with Urban Futures was instrumental in helping the city over these years, and he was also instrumental in getting us some of the key meetings that we were able to secure there. And I think he would share with you that of the cities he's helped over the years, we had one of the best trips to ICSC that he could
Wonderful.
remember too, so.
And I think, am I correct, that this is the first time we've had our own booth?
Yes, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that investment paid off significantly, having our own booth. We had, again, over 400 people actually engage at the booth. And when you're sharing a booth, I know the city shared with Riverside County last year. I come from a place where we shared booth with different entities, and it's helpful, but having your own booth does make a difference. It really does. And our booth was well-positioned within the exhibit hall, and so I think that paid off in spades.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much.
Elizabeth, would you like to add anything to that?
No, other than we were so busy, we forgot to eat lunch.
Oh.
We're going to plan differently next year. I was shoving in protein bars.
Yes.
I just had a question of the, just a personal curiosity, of the material that you brought. I'm sure you brought a lot of demographics and things about Beaumont and whatever. Any idea of what was taken the most? I mean, what was picked up the most? Any idea of what kind of went, what people were kind of looking for? Or I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, here we go. So we prepared 5 flyers to highlight vacant property, which included a link to a YouTube video, which actually showed aerial footage, and that was linked in your staff report. We had and these are all new things we developed because we needed to develop the material too. We had 1-pagers on demographics, and then we had a 8-page brochure made on Beaumont. So there was a lot of material taken, most of which we didn't come back home with, which was good. But I do know the videos were quite effective in the one-on-one meetings they had. And we can show you, today it's about 45 seconds. And so it gave the prospective developer kind of an aerial view of even like live traffic, what that area looks like if they'd be interested to kind of give them live, something to talk about in the moment, whether or not that would work for them or not. So we can play that now for the committee, Madam, if you'd like to.
Wonderful, yes.
Okay?
I like watching videos.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and so we had a couple digital devices with us too, which were helpful. So we had a rolling kind of smaller TV, and that's what we used directly in the meetings so that they can pull up the specific property they were talking about. Oh, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. And we did see a lot of engagement on this just generally, which was good. So even we linked it on LinkedIn. We had it on other social media. And so I'm going to play that for you now.
that's wonderful. Everything looks so clean and neat and, you know, really beautiful with the mountains in the background. That's a very, very nice video. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the ICSC? Thank you very much, and I'm glad it went well. I knew it would. I just knew it would. Okay, the Biz Hub Resource Center.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We wanted to provide just a brief update on where we are with getting all of our signed agreements back for the organizations that are partnering with us in the Biz Hub. This has been a long time coming. We're getting so close to the finish line here. The organizations that have returned lease agreements to us so far, we had a couple that got approved at the June 3rd council meeting, so those are good and they are in, and those were from the California Family Life Center. That's an organization that often partners with the state of California's Employment Development Department. And then if any organization besides Riverside County could be called kind of a primary partner in this project, it's MSJC. And we did get their agreement approved by City Council on June 3rd as well. They're going to be really taking the lead on a lot of the business educational programming, kind of the not-for-credit programming that they're going to be offering out of that facility. So we're super excited to have those at least filed away and done. The next one coming to us is from Riverside County Office of Economic Development. That will go to council on next week on the 17th, and so that we expect will be approved. And then we're waiting on just a few others. It has taken a little longer than we would have liked because, of course, these are all governmental entities of one type or another. So they are winding their ways through their various people and processes that they've had to do. And despite my very best, polite, persistent efforts to get them to hurry up, they only can move so fast.
Yes.
So the ones that we still have that are going to be coming in, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, are the Inland Empire SBDC. That's an organization hosted by Cal State San Bernardino, and they have been very forthright that they have a lot of those processes to work through to get an agreement signed. Riverside County's District 5 County Supervisor will have an office at the hub as well, and we're working with them, doing a little back and forth just on some of the language for the agreement, but that is moving forward. And Riverside County Workforce Development as well will have a presence at the facility. State of California Employment Development Department, we do have already their partner that I mentioned earlier in CFLC, but the EDD will also have a presence there as well. They're going to be sharing an office with their partner organization, and that one is the one that we expect to take the longest because they've had to come out and inspect the building and make sure that, you know, everything's at the right temperature and the floors are the right level, and it's got to be just right for the state to send somebody there to work. But everything is really moving forward. The thing that we keep hearing from everybody that we talk to about this project, including the partner agencies, is when are we going to have a grand opening? You know, we'll certainly be able to have kind of soft opening types of activities anytime we wish, but I think probably we're looking at maybe October-ish for a real grand opening, because we'll have to make sure to schedule that and have all of the lead partners, county supervisor, et cetera, be there.
Right.
So we'll have to do a lot of schedule coordination to find the right date for that. But we'll, of course, make sure that all of you are invited to be a part of that celebration as well. It's going to be a really pivotal day for our city and really for the whole Pass area.
It sounds like you're filling it up quite nicely.
Yeah, it's really gonna be a thriving, hopefully buzzy hub of innovation, entrepreneurship. You know, we're going to have spaces there that are going to be able to be used as sort of flexible spaces for if there are local entrepreneurs who need a place to have a meeting with a lender or whatever, that they could drop in and use those facilities as well. So I think it's
talked about
going to be
that.
very exciting.
Yes, it's
If I could
exciting.
add, Madam
It's
Chair,
nice-
yesterday,
yes, go ahead.
yesterday was sort of like a Christmas day for Joseph because we got the elevator operating permit came from the state, that's a big deal. So we have that in hand now too.
But now you have to operate the elevator.
If you've seen the elevator, you understand how Comical, that is.
We may give elevator rides at the grand opening. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be like a dunk tank with a fundraiser.
I can give you horror stories about elevators, but it sounds exciting and, you're filling it up and it's going to make that area so vibrant that, it's wonderful. We're taking that corner that's been there forever and it's going to have people and activity. That's wonderful. That's exciting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Rader.
Yeah, this is for the, I inquire about every month if staff can report on any new businesses coming to our area. I know you have to get permits, et cetera, and you can't divulge a lot, but I know a lot of people who get excited when they hear what new businesses we might be having.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rader. I know that Joseph and Laura have been meeting with the chamber to go over a list of new business licenses. I think we're going to, just as a routine basis, include that in your agenda packets going forward. And then, not necessarily for discussion, but.
I understand.
But we can pull them off and discuss if
Sure.
there's any questions. But yeah, just as a regular item, I think we can attach that.
We understand you
Good
have
idea.
to have the signed deal. It's got to be done. It can't be, I
Yep.
hear a lot of rumors. Poor Elizabeth, she hears all my rumors.
I encourage you all to listen in to the council meeting on Tuesday.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
may I make a comment?
yes, you,
All right.
absolutely.
All right, for the Business Hub, honestly, I'm absolutely amazed. I love the fact that you guys are doing this. I was going to ask a question about entrepreneurship. The first couple of years I was with the county and workforce development, I was the business employer services coordinator. So I work with businesses throughout the county. And you guys are bringing in essentially everybody who I've been telling we need to be in Beaumont for years because, the on-the-job training programs, all the grants that we have available, all the things that can support all the small businesses, some I'll talk about later when we do report outs, will definitely help. And the fact that you were able to get CFLC up here, the California Family Life Centers and the programs that they do. So this isn't a question. This is just thank you guys very much for being able to accomplish that because the Pass area needs it. And 2 years of literally knocking on doors and talking to people, telling them about these programs. Now we'll have a center locally that can do that. Absolutely amazing. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see it open.
Anything else? But we've had just wonderful news tonight. That's great. Any topics for future agendas? I know Kirk mentioned that we'll put new deals, leasing and construction in the future. Yes.
I think we ought to, we probably are, but the economic development proposal review process should be on the agenda. I don't know if anything will be available next month, but I think it needs to be there.
We'll provide an update on the process.
So we get something,
Yeah.
Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up?
I have a question.
Okay.
All right, sorry. I know, first time speaking, I'm going to talk a lot today. So I don't know if I'm allowed to report out, but I can, because it goes along with the things that we're just talking about and the future agenda items, because we can actually bring in a workforce development expert, an employer services expert who has all the details on the programs. But right now, the county and 5th District have a ton of programs going on, like incumbent worker training. So we can upskill our local employees, and the county's going to pay a majority of that cost, and it's through MSJC. And it's essentially, it's free. That's going to be part of workforce development when you get those guys in here. We have a program with District 5 that when they're in here, where they actually have the Employer Connect program where they're going to reimburse you up to $9,600 for hiring a new employee. And it's a grant, so it's money and it's for businesses in this area. So that's just 2 for the adults. And there's a lot of youth programs that we have right now they have youth community corps, so it's ages 18 to 26. So if you have a student who wants to work in the government, so I wish I could have reported out on this last week when we actually had the youth here. But ages 18 to 26, if there's a youth who's interested in working in a government office, including Chamber of Commerce, as long as it's not like a nonprofit, but some sort of government agency, the county's going to pay 100% of their wages as long as they're in District 5, which we're right in the middle of it. And that's an opportunity for a young person who wants to get that government experience. So if you're looking for an intern for 90 days, a high school ages 18 and up, or not high school graduate, let the county pay for it because this is directed directly to you guys. And the high school students who were here last week with all of their amazing, or last month, I keep saying last week, last month with their amazing, billboard signs. Those have been great people to hire for marketing and, give them an opportunity and let the county pay for it. And then we have another program right now for ages 16 to 24. It's a youth employment program where a business just needs to want to hire a kid age 16 to 24, and the county is going to reimburse 100% of that young person's wage up to, I believe it's $20 an hour for that person to work for 90 days. So these are just opportunities that the county has available, District 5 has available to our youth. And I'd love to find a way to be able to get that out there to the public and our businesses and say, here's opportunities that are here for you, and they're coming from the county, they're coming from District 5. And honestly, they're free. And we're not gonna come in and ask you for your tax records, ask you to open up your books. We just want to make sure you have a business license. And for the stuff like incumbent worker training or on-the-job training, where on OJTs, we reimburse 50% of somebody's salary for up to 480 hours of training, essentially the first 3 months they work for you full-time. We just want to make sure you have a business license and workers' comp. And that's all the requirements we have for those programs. So if we want to agenda the item, we can bring in next month somebody from the county where you can ask in-depth questions about how exactly those programs work. Because I know the surface level, but we can get the expert, the person pounding the pavement for that.
Sure. I mean, I like the idea of putting on the agenda and having somebody come and present those materials and programs. We would also like to make sure we get the links to them embedded into our website too, so anybody looking for economic development or job training can locate them through us as well. Probably the chamber should do the same thing.
So
Thank you.
So would we like to put that on the agenda for next month, to have someone come in? Okay, can we do that, Nicole? Can you? And you'll work with Joe? Okay, anything else?
Madam Chair, I have a question
ma'am.
for Joseph.
Yes.
Joseph, how are you getting the word out to the youth?
How am I getting the word out to the youth? Pretty much telling every single young person I see about the program and telling them to follow me on LinkedIn and follow the Youth Commission, because I do share a lot of this through the Riverside County Youth Commission social media pages as well. And I try to partner with like school administrators like yourself to get them the information. So
You send me the flyers, I'll get them out. Thank you.
I'll email them to you.
Susan's the person you want to work with.
Yes. Oh, and sorry, one more thing about Youth Commission. If you want to watch the June 24th Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting, that's our end of the year. We'll be doing our awards presentations for our Youth Advisory Council for the year. And we're going to have some videos just kind of showing what the Youth Commission does. And just to throw a shout out to a student from Beaumont, a Beaumont High School senior was our commissioner this year and the chair of the Youth Commission, as well as writing 2 assembly bills that got written into legislature. So we'll put it on record. Maria Davila, who just graduated from Beaumont High School and is going to Berkeley next year. That's the caliber of students that we work with the Youth Commission, and we want to grow up in the Pass area because we only had her and her little sister from the Pass area this year and 30 students from Moreno Valley, so we need to grow District 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. A lot of information there. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, shall we go around the room, see if anyone wants to add anything? Laura? Kirk?
Nothing further from me.
Good to get all these names. I gotta get the name though, Kathleen, I scribbled here.
Madam Chair, I did want to ask, going off of Vice Chair Beneke's comments about new businesses coming to town.
Yes.
I think it would be great too, and I guess it's probably a pretty similar thing, but any like ribbon cuttings, pictures or anything would be really neat too to have, just like we saw the video of ICSC and the products that were displayed there. That would be really neat to see ribbon cuttings too, be able to celebrate our newcomers to the city.
Where do you want to see the ribbon cuttings at?
Well,
When
it
you
would
say-
just be neat to have it in like maybe the packet or just, I know, yeah, Vice Chair Beneke was bringing up how maybe we could see what new businesses are coming to town.
I thought
So-
maybe you might want to come to the ribbon.
Oh, and I know the chamber probably does most of that, but yeah, if I could, I would. Maybe I'll stop by.
Okay, well, no, that's not a bad idea, and we would have pictures if you ever wanted pictures of ribbon cuttings.
We can coordinate with you on that.
Sure. Mr. Rader?
I'm good, Madam Chair. I'm good, Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Beneke?
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Joe?
Nothing else.
Letitia?
Nothing else.
Really have worked on these names. Jason?
Nothing further, Madam Chair.
Susan?
I'd like to take this opportunity, representing the school district for the first time, to say thank you to the city of Beaumont. I coordinate with a lot of departments on different projects throughout the year, and we just closed out our school year. And I want to say thank you to the city, to Joseph, to Carrie, to Elizabeth, to all of your staff, because we had a great year with our CT advisory that you all attend, many of you attend, our showcase, our mock interviews, our workforce tours, and I am right now planning on the fall event. So thank you from the city of Beaumont and personally from myself.
Thank you, Susan. She's our Citizen of the Year, as you know.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbs? Nicole, do you have anything? Thank you very much. I guess we can call this meeting to a close. And now Mr. Rader gets to feed me.